Imagine dialing 911 and no one answers. Volunteerism in America is in decline. Maybe Christians are the answer. For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet. This is Breakpoint. According to the National Fire Protection Association, the number of volunteer firefighters across the country has been steadily in decline, with a drop of over 132,000 volunteers in just the last 4 years. Many volunteer fire departments, especially in rural communities, are struggling to meet the demands of their districts. Even more alarming, the most drastic demographic decline in volunteers is young people. In fact, over 50% of current volunteers across the country are over age 40. The widespread decrease in volunteering among young people threatens EMS services, pregnancy resource centers, shelters, nonprofits, from the Red Cross to retirement homes. In other words, a live and pressing question that we face as Americans is this: will younger citizens be prepared, not to mention willing, to step in and maintain so many of the things that we take for granted as Americans that rely on volunteers? Several federal, state, and local government entities have seen the problem, and they're experimenting with programs that will incentivize young people to volunteer, from offering high school and college credit to scholarships to tax rebates. Pennsylvania has even proposed a program to forgive up to $16,000 in student loans for those who volunteer for 4 years as a first responder. While these sound like good ideas, and we should always applaud innovative efforts, government solutions don't always work out as planned. And we can't fix what is ultimately cultural and spiritual problems through political means. Culturally speaking, ours is a far more mobile society than previous generations. But volunteerism and community engagement are rooted in a sense of ownership for a community. Simply put, it's hard to foster that kind of ownership among those who are always on the move. Culturally and spiritually speaking, we're susceptible in this world to a sort of hyper-individualism that marks our age. All of us, but especially young people, are drawn toward either the pursuit of social media celebrity status or personal happiness as our definition of the good life. What we get instead, as we've said before on Breakpoint, is increasing anxiety, loneliness, and depression, especially among young people. The Joker film is just the latest to picture what can happen to those who lose all social ties and abandon any sense of social responsibility. Not only is the decline of the volunteer ethic physically dangerous to the health of citizens and communities with no EMS providers to answer a call, it's dangerous to the health of our young people if they don't hear that they're needed and that their life matters to their local community, wherever that is. That's because volunteering protects the health of those providing care as well as those who are being cared for. Now here, of course, is where the church comes in, or should come in. We can create a sense of community and belonging, instill civic virtue, and help people experience the truth that no man's an island unto himself, and that our faith, though personal, is certainly not private. Think about it. God has revealed himself as a community, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Relationships aren't merely something God does, it's who he is. Made in his image, we too are made for community. In other words, there's simply no loving God without loving neighbor. So here we have this place where a cultural need and theological truth intersect. How should the church respond? What opportunities can we create or can we join that will draw young people into the life of the church for the good of the world? And who knows, that young people that we put in the soup kitchen today might be answering our 911 call tomorrow. For Breakpoint, I'm John Stonestreet.